Good evening and welcome to the Author Spotlight. My name is Arilia Winn. I'm the owner and operator of Winn Publications. If you don't mind introducing yourself, telling us your name, and a little bit about yourself and what you do full-time outside of writing.
Yes, so hello, good evening. So my name is Cristina, and I'm currently a full-time stay-at-home mom. And in my spare time is actually when I write. I'm currently a stay-at-home mom right now, living in New York, and have a 1-year-old, and I rebel by writing romance.
Ooh, tell us about that. What do you mean you rebelled by writing romance? I like that.
Well, it's actually just like a tagline I made up of myself, because being, a wife, a mom, a woman, if you have children, you have a daughter, you just said, and so you go through about your everyday, and there's always so many things, there's so little time in the day, and you're always trying to be a good mom, be a good wife, be a good, woman in general, and you just want something for yourself. A little something for yourself, and I've always loved writing, I've always loved reading, and it's just something I kind of fell into, and it really it relaxes me more than anything.
Oh, wow, that sounds beautiful. You know what, let me just say this, I love talking to authors because you guys just put things so beautifully. I was like, wow, okay. So, tell us about your book then. What's the name of it? Obviously, you said it's romance.
It is a romance novel. It is a bit on the taboo side. Now, when I started writing it, I did not mean for it to be a taboo, kind of forbidden romance. It just kind of worked itself out like that. Those were the characters in my head. And it's my first book. It's a duet, actually. So it's one story, but 2 books. It's a small town, forbidden taboo romance. So if you can imagine a small town in Tennessee called Bell Buckle. And Bell Buckle is actually a real town in Tennessee.
Okay.
And I just had this idea in my head of these characters, and it was a very short scene, but it was a very explicit scene. And I just remember saying to myself, well, how did they get here? Like, how did they get here? And I want to know how they got here. And so I said, you know what? I need to figure this out. I need to write it down. I need to start writing. And so I kind of just wrote it, and it's a love triangle. It's forbidden. It's a bit of a taboo. And it's just worked itself out like that. And but I fell in love with the characters and with who they were, and it's like a coming of age. It's a coming of age. They are, just graduating high school. They're getting ready to, they're on that brink of adulthood, but they're not really adults yet. However, they think they can handle everything. And, you have your high school sweetheart, but then you have the best friend of the boyfriend as well. So it just kind of all takes a twist for craziness. And it just follows these characters. There's Ava, Bobby, and Jake, and it takes a turn for the dramatic, but in the end, a few years later, it's a duet, so it continues on a few years later where they've actually really grown up, and they've actually really come into their own, and they're now adults, and they've kind of settled into their lives. But Ava has to return home, and she has a lot of explaining to do to a lot of people, not even just these 2 guys that were a big prominent part of her life, but to her friends and to herself. And she has to figure out, where her heart is.
Interesting. Sounds like a good Netflix movie or something.
It really would be. Or like a short series, like a short.
Yeah.
There's like part 1 and part 2. too.
Yeah.
It would be really good for those interested.
Yeah.
It's a fun book, and it's just, I fell in love with it, and and it's not, it's a good, it's heartful too,
Mm-hmm.
So I really fell in love with the characters, and at the end you're kind of really rooting, you don't know who you're rooting for. Everybody kind of, all my readers have kind of, there's a Team Jake, Team Bobby, kind of thing
Wow.
going on. Everybody has a different,
Mm-hmm.
a different idea of what might happen.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so what's it called?
So it's the Belle Buckle series, and the first book was called Dare to Love 2. So the title really says it all.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part, the conclusion, is called Two Left in Love.
Okay. And we can get those on Amazon or where?
They're available in ebook on all platforms except iBooks. So they're available on Amazon, of course. They're available on Barnes & Noble, on Kobo. I want to say, is there one other one? I can't remember off the top of my head now. There's so many platforms nowadays. Google Play.
Okay. Nice.
Google Play, yes. I don't have it on iBooks yet. I am in the process of trying to get it on iBooks. It's a little bit harder. I know there's like an app, and so you need like the MacBook, which I don't use. I use like a PC, so.
Okay.
But I hope to have it on iBooks soon, but it is everywhere else. It also is available on paperback on Amazon. Right now, paperback on Amazon is the only platform available.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so then talk to us a little bit about your self-publishing journey. What was the toughest challenge that you faced in becoming an author?
I think the toughest challenge for me, this really happened for me on a whim, and I wrote this, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go through with it, and I'm going to do this. But I think the toughest part was when I had to hand off my book to the editor. As a self-publishing, you have to, if you're not an editor, obviously you have to get somebody to edit your work and get people to read your work, and I think that was the biggest challenge for me because it's the scariest part. It's your very first book. It's your story. You have no idea, you're figuring it all out. And that was the biggest challenge, just having someone else take it and look at it, read through it, and really give me, the feedback and edit through it.
Yeah.
But in the end, it was a good process because it showed me, okay, you did it, you got it. It's good.
Wow. Okay. So then is there, from your experience or maybe even with that, is there any lessons or advice that you can offer to other writers who might be afraid to get an editor because, some people are afraid to get an editor and they decide to edit themselves because they don't want someone to change their work or mess up their stuff. Maybe,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would say the best advice is you have to do it.
Yeah.
Because for me, someone like me who's gone into writing, I'm not a writing major. I didn't go to college for literature, literature or publishing or anything like that. I kind of just fell into it. And so I love to write, but that's not to say that I am the best at spelling or punctuation or grammar. And so those things are important. And it's also important because if you're lucky enough to find someone who will read through your work and really not be afraid to say, hey, this is good, but you're missing something here, or, you don't need this part. It's good because you want your work to be better. You want to grow, you want to learn, you want to grow, and you want to put out the best work possible. And a lesson for myself even though I edited it, I did get an editor. I should have edited more than the one time that I did. I learned that now. I learned that when I put out the second book, I made sure to edit twice. like the more you can edit, the more you can look through your work, do that, you know, because it's important.
Yeah, okay. Did you use any tools to edit it yourself? As in tools, I mean, like, did you use Grammarly or just, like, the basic spell check on your document editor or software?
I actually do use Grammarly. Grammarly is really great. The only thing with Grammarly is I think it's hard because it worked for me up until a certain word count. I believe it only goes up to a certain word count, but it is a really great feature to have and use. It does help. It helps a lot. But after a certain point, I couldn't use it. I couldn't use it anymore because my books tend to be on the long side.
Okay. Yeah, that is true. And so if you are listening to this and you're taking notes, be aware of that. Grammarly is an awesome tool to use for editing, but they do limit you on the word count. So you might have to break it up into pieces if that's a major part of your editing process.
Yeah. I really hope they change that, though, one day, because it's really great. I like using it on a lot of different things when I'm writing, not just in my novels, but just like writing letters and things like that. But it would be nice if they changed that word limit.
Yeah, right? Shoot. Maybe someone from Grammarly might be listening. Who knows? Y'all go ahead and fix that for us. Okay, so then has there ever been any moment during your author journey or just maybe even in life where you felt like you wanted to quit? And then if so, how did you handle that?
Funny enough, I'm currently writing the third book in the series. And as I said, I have a little boy. He just turned 1. And so writing the third book has been a challenge because, you know, mom life and adjusting to being a new mom and motherhood and just finding the time. And so I've had some, like, discouraging moments, not with these first books so much, because when I wrote these first 2 books, I really had, you know, my allotted time. I didn't have any children at the moment, and I was basically free to just write when I had the time to. But writing this third book in the series has been a little bit of a challenge, and I've thought to myself, like, should I continue? Also, you know, as an independent author and self-publishing, you have to market yourself. You have to do you know, you don't have the backer of a traditional publishing company doing all that stuff for you. You have to do it yourself. And it can be challenging sometimes because, of course, like anything else, it can get stressful because you're trying to do all these things and you're trying to gain, you know, your readers to see what reader group you have and trying to market yourself and market the book and network and all that stuff. And so it can be very challenging. And so there's been a couple of times I'm like, I don't know if I should, you know, continue. But then I'm just like, but the urge to write is so much greater that I'm just like, I have to finish it.
Yeah.
I have to finish it. Do it. I can't give up. And then you have like someone will like message me on Instagram, a reader, and they'll be like, "Where's the book? I'm waiting." And so you're like, "Okay, well, I can't disappoint then," you know?
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah. That's funny how that happens. Just right when you're like, this is getting tough. Bing! You get like a little flag mark on your Instagram thing saying you have a new message.
Yeah. So, I mean, all in all, it can be a challenge, but it's great. I mean, I think it makes independent publishers even stronger and better, and you grow and you learn because, you know, you do have to you have to take all those steps yourself, you know, between writing and marketing and formatting and cover design and all the little things that go into it and building your social media and all that stuff. It's not easy, you know, there's a big process.
Yeah, definitely. What would you say then to someone who's just beginning and they're listening and they're like, oh my God, it seems like a lot. Would you tell them to go after it anyways, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Go after it. Don't worry about all that stuff. Like, when I started writing, I had no thought in mind about publishing or editing or, like, anything. I just started writing. Like, just write. If you have a story in your head, sit down and write. If you're not sure how to start writing, just take a time, one day a week even. Give yourself a word count, a goal, you know, every Tuesday, whatever it might be, whatever you can, and just sit down, write it, and don't worry about all that stuff. Let it come later as you get toward the end of your story. Just write it, because you never know. You have no idea what will happen and what you might miss out on if you don't do it.
Absolutely, I agree. So then, I know you said already that one of the things that keeps you going and keeps you writing is just that urge to write. Can you name maybe a couple of other things that keep you going with your author journey?
Yeah, so the urge to write, I love writing, of course. Reading really helps me with that because, you know, as writers, I mean, most writers, their first passion was probably reading, you know? They like to read, and that really helps and really encourages you because you're like, you want to write those great stories. It's like, oh, yeah. Like, also, the people I've met and worked with, you know, over on Instagram and Facebook and other social platforms, social media platforms that I've met that have really, like, helped me, like, you know, the people I've met that have edited my book are beta readers. You know, you have people who read your book and they've really, like, encouraged me and they read my book and encourage me in a way that they give me that critique and it's fun. Also the urge to write because if you have somebody who's reading your book and they message you and they're like, oh, I'm reading this part, you know, Ava and Jake, they're at this part and I can't believe it and it's so exciting, like, and they start to converse with you about your book. And it's exciting because it's like you talk, and they don't talk to you like, oh, it's a character. They talk to you about it like it's a real person, you know? They're like, what is Ava thinking? Why would she do that? I don't understand. Why? Why did you make her do that? And so those are the things, it keeps you going, you know? Those are the things that encourage you, that make you feel good, that make you excited about it. So it just gives you that urge, and that push to just want to keep going. And not to mention, you know, like I said, you get these little themes or you get these little thoughts in your head that you're like, ooh, I need to write that down. You know, just, I could be writing and then something else will completely, like, even though I'm writing this, I have other ideas for other things, and hopefully in the near future. Yeah. Once I'm able to get my stuff together.
Isn't that something? Go ahead.
No, I wasn't able to get myself together finally. Hopefully in the near future, then, you know, I've written down other little things where I'm like, okay, that would be a good story, like, and I jot it down for later on. So it's all those little things, but they're not little, they're big, you know.
Yeah, I was just saying, as soon as you write and publish your first book, I feel like you're in the rabbit hole. That's it. You're gonna be probably putting out another one, and then another one, and then another one. It's like it's addicting. It's a good feeling. The feeling of accomplishment, and then, you know, just like you were saying, that feedback that you get from others. It's great.
Yeah, you said it right. It's addicting.
Yeah.
It's like a high. You get, because it's an accomplishment. I mean, you do that. Whether you self-publish or you traditionally publish, you still publish. And you did that on your own, you know, especially if especially if you're self-publishing, it's an amazing accomplishment because, like I said, there's so much that goes into it and you're putting all of that in yourself. people, of course. You know, but you, in general, you have to go through that whole process on your own. And so I think it's, you know, it's an amazing high, and it's, yeah, you just want to kind of keep going after that. And if you really love it, it's fun. You know, it's in the same time, it's fun.
Yeah, that is true. It is a lot of fun. I'm actually working on a book now. I gave it to my editor about a week or two ago, and so I guess for me that's one of the, I don't want to say nerve-wracking, but the waiting part, like just waiting to get the book back and hear the feedback and see.
Yeah, whereas with the first book I was really nervous. Getting the, you know, the feedback back from the editor the first time. The second time I wasn't as nervous. I was actually more excited. You know, because then you finally gone through that process of, you know, the first time and all those jitters are out of the way. But then I'm just excited to get the feedback, and I'm excited to edit it. And also because I think once you're at the editing part, it's like you're almost there. It's like, yes, it's almost ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, oh my gosh, I have had such a good time talking to you. Is there anything else that you would want to share or offer to the community?
I think the best thing to say is the community as a writer, if you're writing or if you want to get into writing, just keep doing it. If you get discouraged, you know, the best thing I can say is if you're writing and you're writing for yourself and you're writing for the passion of it and the fun of it and you love it, keep doing it. And in this, you know, in this self-publishing can be hard. You know, you want to gain readers and you want to gain those reading fans, and it can take a while. Just be patient and just do it. Do it for the love of doing it, and you'll find your niche. And you'll find people who are there with you, and it'll build, and it can take time, but, you know, it's okay. It's good. Don't worry about it. It may not happen overnight, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that you're bad or you're not good. It doesn't mean anything. It means you're just you. And you'll figure it out. You'll just keep going.
Yeah. Wow. And we'll end on that note. Just keep going. That's awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you